Not to interrupt anybody's lunch, we just want to give a few people a chance to ask some questions before they leave. Some people have to leave a little early. So continue to eat, and we'll go through some questions. I would like to thank Dr. Sanzal and her student for the music. And we would like to entertain some questions right now from the audience, now that you've had a chance to get something to eat. Jeff? Jeff Les, you need a mic. Hold on, man.
Bring the mic to the bus back here. I told the ladies that we couldn't sit any farther every low way unless we sit outside.
Kind of chilly.
Thank you, Bobby. My question is more of a statement. My name is Jeffrey Lusker. I'm the Executive Director of the Hatfield and Trail System. I'm proud to say since the inception of our trail system, we've had over 50 new lodging providers open up. And I'm excited to say that that's still the number one problem we have along our trail systems. We have a lack of lodging infrastructure. And I was talking to Ann earlier, and we've actually had this conversation at our table, but the thing we seem to be lacking is not the capital that Joe and them have, because they have tons of capital in. In fact, I get a probably bi-weekly call from Joe's boss, Martin Jenkins, asking if we have loans or deals, and Christy Laxton's here at my table, and her company the EDA has lots and lots of money to lend, but the problem we've got is entrepreneurs. We are lacking a critical mass of entrepreneurs in Southern West Virginia. I don't know how we groom these folks. We've got an education system that trains folks to go get a job. And we need to train folks how to create a job, how to start a business. And we're just not doing that. We're coming up short. And I say that because I've traveled to all these counties. We have trails in 7 of these counties. And it's universal. Every county we went into, Wyoming, McDowell, Mingo, Logan, Boone, even here in Mercer County, we do not have a good supply of entrepreneurs. And it's not because we have a lack of people, it's not because we have a lack of educated people. I don't think it's because we have a lack of people with enthusiasm. We're just not doing a good job of grooming those folks, of getting them past the hurdles and barriers that they need to convince them to go into business, to convince them to pursue those endeavors. And it's the biggest threat we have to selfishly, it's the biggest threat we have to our growth and our company, is that we've got to have folks step up and open up outfitting businesses. We've got to have folks step up and open up restaurants. We've got to have folks step up and open up lodging. And our project, our tourism project, which is by far one of the largest in Southern West Virginia, will not grow without those people stepping up. And this is a great group here. I look around, and these are certainly the folks that can get stuff done. And we need some sort of coordinated effort in Southern West Virginia to start grooming these entrepreneurs, to put them in touch with the capital fund, to get them the training that they need to go into business. And I think that would be a great project for the Third District Accelerator, and you certainly have the team together at the front of the table to get that done. But that was just my statement, and any help anyone here can provide to that end, I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Jeff. This is Ann Barth again with Tech Connect, and as you heard earlier, some of this is geared toward trying to build out that entrepreneurial capacity. And I'd love to be in touch with you further to toss around some ideas for how we can do that most effectively and most rapidly, whether it's a boot camp style event for would-be entrepreneurs or something different, but how do we get more people interested in that in the state?
My job here is to carry the microphone over the person who knows it.
I thought you were asking a question.
Hi, I'm Katie Ickes. I'm with Greenville County Chamber of Commerce, but I do have a plan, and it's really 5-pronged, and I would love to talk about opportunities for funding. But as far as creating a culture of entrepreneurism, we need to start with our kids, with education there, and I'm specifically targeting middle school. And if you saw the press release from this last week, Governor Tomlin identified that in middle school, that's when there's a big drop. There's a big drop in performance, in West tests, and I think that's when we need to show our kids some education about problem solving, creative thinking, entrepreneurism, thinking about what's my passion, what can I do, and then go on to the high school and implement that. Vision Shared has a program, Lemonade Days, which I'd like to pick up and supplement my idea. Also, we started entrepreneur cafes with Greenbrier County, which was a Vision Shared concept. We had 70 people come out on a terrible evening and listen to 5 different pitches. We were able to give $1,250 to one of our businesses. We have them planned quarterly, have the sponsors. So we're on the way with that. But I also think we need to have more, a database, a central resource for entrepreneurs, let them know about the capital investments, the different things that are out there, and also have more roundtable discussions with our entrepreneurs, our would-be entrepreneurs, to connect the dots, as you say. So would there be funding available for a similar project with this 3D Accelerator?
I think there's a lot of potential for collaboration to strengthen some of the existing programs, including the Entrepreneur Cafe model that has been used to great success already in several counties. Also Mingo and Cabell that I'm aware of. And also with some of the initiatives aimed towards students. Lemonade stand competition is coming up in May.
Right.
And I think we'll see a lot of good news coverage of that because it's going to be impossible to resist. But let's be in touch and find other ways that we can follow up on that.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any more questions? Here we go.
I'm Pete Hobbs, Mayor of the town of Anstead, population 1,404. And it's my belief that, that major enterprise is not coming to Anstead. So it's made me begin to think about, and I guess the question I'm directing to this board is that in your purview to entertain a like thought process. What if we could introduce or provide 10 to 15 $100,000 a year jobs to every community of 4,000 people or less, which is 80% of the state of West Virginia population, I believe, live in population centers of less than 4,000 people. What drives my thinking is are the models that we're following for economic development addressing that true picture of our population or not? I did a survey in the town of Anstead and the surrounding areas, with the cooperation of West Virginia University a couple of years ago, Dr. Maya Holmes and her public administration master's program. And we made some interesting discoveries about the town of Anstead. There were 9 people making salaries of $100,000 in the community of 1,404, working from home, not driving anywhere to get their income. 90% of the time they work right there in my community, driving that significant amount of revenue right back into our community. We're watching a resurgence of modern housing begin to occur there because those people have money to spend. Let me get to a question, I guess, sooner or later, but if you'll bear with me. We actually had to disperse or to challenge some given or some perceived limitations of the town of Anstead, Northern Fayette County. One, we did not have an adequate workforce to accommodate home-based internet-driven enterprise. We also had to dispel the rumor or the thought that we did not have a workforce well educated enough to accomplish home-based enterprise, internet-driven enterprise area. The students at WVU has disproven that through a direct survey and actual testing of the citizens of Northern Fayette County. All of this conversation is about, do we need to, and is it in the purview of this group, to challenge those traditional ways of economic development and say, we need to look at a different model. If 80% of our population is in communities of less than 4,000 people, with the rising cost of energy Are we going to force them to go to population centers to earn their money? Or are we going to find an innovative way to drive that work to them? So I don't know that I've asked you a question you can answer, but I hope I've asked you some questions that will bear thought process. That says, are we addressing that or not? So,
Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah. Mark Julian, Director of Business Industrial Development. First of all, Mayor, let me thank you for recognizing that, because I gave a speech a week or so ago, and part of it talks to the issue of communities need to recognize what they're capable of and what may not happen. For so many years, you know, I get the good fortune of working on the $150 million deals and the $100 million deals, like the stamping plant, Macy's, and Eastern Panhandle, because it's the larger development that my unit deals with. But there are areas of the state that's not going to happen in. And for too many years, whether people were led to believe that or wanted to believe that, it's just not going to happen because of topography and other issues, workforce skills, because in any, whether you're talking about fulfillment and distribution or the value added for the Marcellus play that's going on, it's location, location, location. Transportation systems, whether it be highway, water, rail, we can spend a whole day talking about infrastructure issues. That's why broadband is so important to this state, for these smaller communities to think more entrepreneurial, and I commend that discussion. Jeff mentioned that. We need to think outside the box of how, while somebody may not know they're an entrepreneur, there's a lot of great talented people in this state that with a little coaching and mentoring can take those skills and open a machine shop or open some other business that can supply others. Because in the development business, you have direct, indirect, induced benefit from investment. So my unit is focused on industrial development. That's what I'm paid to do, to go after the big deals. But equally, my colleague here, the Small Business Development Center, under the leadership of Christina Oliver, I had the good fortune to serve on the search committee that hired her several years ago. What they're doing in a sense of transforming that unit into coaching and facilitation and proper business planning to really get at the entrepreneurial issue. But we're not dealing from a development office just on one front. Internationally, my international friends are not here. We've had great records on export and even on larger foreign investment when it comes to the automotive sector. So we've got to do all of the above. So we aren't just focused on one thing. I think many people believe that because that's the sexy stuff that gets the headlines. You know, the $150 million announcements, the platform for everybody's large enough to celebrate. That's what, but the smaller stuff sometimes doesn't get those headlines, but it's equally important. Just look at the data that you pointed out when it comes to the state as to the 50-year employees and less. That's the majority of West Virginia. So I think the efforts of Tech Connect and some of the stuff they're doing and the successes that the Robert C. Byrd Institute has. I mean, I've seen over the years the incubation concept where you have the mentoring and the training and the technical assistance to get people that are good with their hands to start small businesses and utilize technology. So it can happen, but we can never do it fast enough. I mentioned in my remarks earlier, we are at a very transformative period right now in this country. Manufacturing, for example, can come back to the U.S. because of some things that are going on in the world, largely wage pressures in Asia, a residential bubble that's already popped in China. There's a whole lot of reasons, but we have to be ready to capitalize on it. I know we're focused very heavily on the value added from the gas industry. You know, obviously coal and the severance tax issue that the state's facing on the export situation, as well as domestic use of coal, is a problem for the future. Severance taxes in the gas industry are never going to be at the levels that coal severance tax is. It's just not going to happen. So you have to look at all the above, but we have to keep looking for innovative ways to promote entrepreneurship. Back to Jeff's point, that's not an easy thing. There are people that believe entrepreneurs are born and you can't really make them. I would say some of that's true, but there are certain skill sets and instinctive behaviors and skills that people have that maybe were part of a prior career that they were trained for a job, that they could turn into a business model with the right help and support.
Thank you, Mark. These aren't limited to just questions. I mean, we will take comments, whatever that you want to do. I see a hand back there. Judy?
I'm Judy Rapper, under Towards Development Authority. I know that we have the grantsmanship piece of this, and we have an entrepreneurial piece. Can you tell me about particulars otherwise so that we can, when we go away, think about how we can use what we're already doing to reinforce what you want to do or the other way around?
Well, I would ask Tom Minnick with the Bird Institute and Dr. Ramtham with Concord to maybe talk a little bit about immediate next steps from both of those organizations. What will happen next? From Concord, my understanding is that Concord will be working to develop mobile apps for area businesses that can put applications in. You might want to talk a little bit about that process and when it will start, when the work is done.
Well, I think ultimately the thing that we hope to come out of this is we brought a large group of people to the room today who can tell other people what's going on here. We hope to be able to provide a variety of different kinds of technical assistance. So when you have those people in your communities who come and say, I have a great idea, where do you send them? For certain types of technical expertise, again, Robert C. Byrd Institute is the place to go if they're a more manufacturing-based organization. If it's tourism, human services types of things, we here at Concord feel that we're pretty equipped to help with that. But we want people to know that this is here. What this whole initiative represents is a tremendous amount of both financial and technical human resources available for people. And we need the folks in this room to spread that word that this stuff is available. We can't wait to hear from people. We would like people calling us with some ideas so we can kind of click this all into gear and start giving some of that coaching, that technical assistance, so that we can direct them to the people who have the financial resources. That's really very much what we're about here today, is to start having all of you who know where the folks are and are the point of contact to let folks know that there's a lot of things available for them. I think someone back there had mentioned what a mess it can be for somebody who doesn't know what they're doing to go into the entrepreneurial area. We hope to be able to sort of be a clearinghouse for resources for those people. I kind of see that as the real mission behind all of this. So if Tom wants to add something from RCBI.
Well, from RCBI standpoint, we're trying to get out to do outreach to all of the machine shops, welding shops, southern West Virginia and 10 counties. For example, one of our outreach staff, Rick Martin, working with Janet, was able to go to a company and turn over 6 opportunities for training. A lot of people still don't know about who RCBI is. We are dedicated to training, blueprint reading, to software training, to measuring, math classes. We do some different things in welding. So if we can't do it, we'll try to find a partner, because we like to partner up with companies individuals to be able to take training skills to someone that's lacking or needing something. Our big thing is right now we're pushing on supply chain management to be able to develop a database to add to the 21st Century Manufacturing Network companies we already have. That's a database. If you're a heat treater, another person's a welder, another person cuts metal, you can go in and search and be able to put those three companies together to build a product. That's in the process. RCBI is also working now with Concord on the apps side of the house for distance learning and for just the internet across the board. But grantsmanship, we've already had one being mentioned, and we've got a couple more lined up. The electronic network is going to be a major asset. And part of this grant is going to be paid for education purposes and for like the apps. But I think it's going to be a lot with partnerships. Yes, sir.
If I may, just for a moment, my name is Stephen Rahall. I'm the principal investigator on the University Center and the 3D project at Concord. The university has kindly given me a reduction in my teaching load so that I can devote my attention to this grant. No project is too small or too insignificant to pay attention, and we serve as a sounding board to which a number of ideas have already been directed. Pet store, a local dairy value-added product for the milk that they, and milk surplus, a coal dust reducing device, just about anything you can think of. My telephone number is 304-384-5988. 304-384-5988. And my email address is rowe@concord.edu. So I'm open to just about anything. I'm here generally from 7 in the morning till 4 in the afternoon, 5 days a week. And our kids are grown, so my wife wants me to get out of the place on the weekends, so weekends are open as well. Lucinda Curry at RCBI and I are working together to begin bringing entrepreneurial workshops into the area, as well as with the New River Community and Technical College and Small Business Institute. So we'll have plenty of services to offer and match ideas up with services. That's what we're all about.
Fast track programs too.
Yeah, fast track as well. Would you like to say something about that?
No, sure I would. I'd love to. Well, I also wanted to point out the small business development centers, and you can also go on our websites. But in partnership with the small business development centers, we are also have a host of, and Kathy Burns here, I wanted to point out Kathy Burns has set this up, but a partnership with the SVDCs. We have starting March 25th, is that the right date? Our first fundamentals in business workshops. And these will start occurring, and we're also not only going to, wherever they are being hosted, but we're also going to type those out to additional counties so other people can participate in those. And those will be on business writing and taking you through, and Steve can probably talk about the details better than I can here. But those will also be focused on entrepreneurial activities, helping people start to get into business. But wherever they're hosted from, we're going to also be piping those out to additional counties, and those will all be on the websites. So we're looking to you all to try to engage people to attend as many of those as you can.
Hi, I'm Steve Weir with the Greenbrier Valley Development Corporation. Is there a central site with all this information on it, where everybody can go to and find out what this program's about, who's participating, and links to that kind of thing? It would really be kind of a neat thing to have, because obviously in this room there's a lot of people that want to get involved in that work, and there's a lot of cross-pollination that can happen, I think.
I think I'm correct in saying that that's coming. The website page is coming, and in the meantime, we're on Facebook at Third District Accelerator, numeral 3 RD District Accelerator. And please get on there and like us, so we'll have more than 50 likes. But we think that social media may end up being a good way to help spread the word about some of these programs, especially when it's targeted like it is in this region.
We have another grant in the state, and we're fortunate enough to be involved in both.
Yeah. Oh, good.
And it would be interesting to see from a technological point of view or technology point of view, the impact that technology can and will have on local food systems, which is the focus of the other accelerator program. So I would encourage everybody, when you're thinking of technology, think of food too, because we'd like to see that kind of cross-pollination and cooperation too.
That's a great observation, Steve, and it makes me think about a program that Tech Connect is working on right now with Uncle Bunk's Condiments, which manufactures pickles and other condiments for sale in Tyler County, West Virginia. And it's a real mom and pop operation, but we have been working with them to streamline manufacturing process that will allow them to significantly increase their production, sales, and revenue at the end of the day. So I think it would be great to find a couple projects that will fit both of our Rural Jobs and Innovation Accelerator proposals in West Virginia, maybe the food product from the one in that grant, and then maybe some manufacturing capability utilization through this one as well. Like Blue Smoke Salsa in Anstead, Mayor. We need more winning products like that.
Or perhaps we'll put them on the internet and sell it worldwide. Right?
Yeah, I bet they do that some, even more.
Hi, my name is Slim Pollard. I'm actually a student at Bethany College up north. I'm here on spring break with my father. One of the things that is kind of a primary focus of what I'm studying is economic development. And it seems to me that one of the sort of major crises of development today is the issue of sustainability. It kind of goes to that old adage where you can give a man a fish or you can teach him how to catch one. And I'm just wondering what kind of focus the organizations that you guys kind of represent has towards sustainability.
Who wants to go for that? Joe Rouse, would you like to address that a little bit?
Well, I think, again, when I was invited to the visioning process, of course, my organization's always defined itself, by its commitment to sustainability. And she mentioned Uncle Bunk's, which is, local food initiative. The numbers of those potential businesses out there like that, value-added agriculture, and those types of things, they were the type of things that, to me, when I was an old banker, as a matter of fact, your father was one of the people that taught me that I could get a bonus in banking and care about economic development too. I'm like, wow. That's, that's the, that word gets tossed around a lot. We've talked about, energy efficiency, and that's all going to be all part of what we're looking at. And that was part of the reason why I was invited to the table. There's another leg of sustainability too, and that is that for the sustainable business to be successful, it's got to be financially sustainable as well. They have to understand about a balance sheet and a profit and loss statement. So what the Third District Accelerator is doing is combining all of that together. And so that's, it's not the best answer, that's the direction we're looking at.
Yes,
Steve Johnson, SBDC. We work with startup businesses as well, but we're also very interested in sustainable growth. We're currently working on a program to train existing entrepreneurs who've been in business for a little bit, to give them the knowledge to go to the next level, or to give them the resources they need when they come to an impasse in their business. They have some cash flow problems, they have some capital that they need. There's lots of problems, and we all know this. When you start a business, getting it started and running is very difficult. Keeping it up and running may even be more difficult. So SBDC is concentrating on trying to find those people, let them find us, and have a program to where we can go in and look at balance sheets, as he mentioned, business plans, growth plans, and try to put our expertise, our business expertise, into their business. As you know, a lot of startup businesses, even when they've been around for a few years, their business skills are not what is sustaining them. But that's what they need to sustain. So SBDC is really committed to try to let them turn the page and get some more business skills so that they can survive in the marketplace.
Any more comments or questions?
Do we think from the internet yet, or is this just network down?
Stand up, Dennis.
Oh, I'll sit down. I'm sure everybody can hear me. Dennis Jarvis, I'm dual initiative here today. SEGAS at Marshall University and the Upper Kanawha Valley EDC, that's the Economic Development Corporation. My question is not per se to a general person, but I think what I've been able to glean is if we see opportunities for something related to what we've heard, be it entrepreneurial training, helping us with a grant writing class, can we send you suggestions for things we're looking for assistance with? And this is how this initiative grows. Is there bricks and mortar? What are the limitations? And what are the things that you can do? What are the things we can't do? And that's a question I'd like to see. So we're at the time you invest with us is proper allocation of time for you and for our communities.
The Third District Accelerator is focused on providing services through, RCBI, Concord, Marshall University, Tech Connect. We don't have access to bricks and mortar funds directly, but that's what the grantsmanship part of the program is about. So if you have an opportunity or need, I urge you to get in contact with somebody in the network, and if you do that, if you take that initiative, we'll be able to take it from there and get you the assistance that you need to bring your opportunity to fruition.
Any more questions? Comments? Did everyone sign in? Leave your business card so we can get you in the network? Any last minute announcements that anyone would like to make? We do have a rural development program sheet up here. If you can pick it up before you leave. Other than that, does anybody at the table have anything to say?
If anyone had an announcement they'd like to make?
Yes.
And I don't hear that. I don't hear boundaries. Yes, I'd like to make an announcement.
Okay. We like that.
Take advantage of every opportunity. I'm Jean Evans Moore from DuBois on Main, a museum on 116 Main Street in Mount Hope, West Virginia. We're focusing on the history of DuBois High School, which was one of only 2 black high schools in Fayette County, 1919 to 1950. Now that you know that, and I'm there most days, the announcements on April 6th, we will have an event where Norman Jordan, poet, will be doing poetry and talking about his latest book, and we're inviting all poets, potential whatever, to come in. During April, I want to do open mic on Saturdays for poets. That's April 6th, 1 to 3, and we always have refreshments. Bring your kids. I want kids in the museum. I've already talked to that lady over there. That doctor is going to connect it. At some point, we're going to have music there. I am funding this. I look for free stuff. This is your opportunity to come and use the community room. Have your meeting, have your whatever. And you're quite welcome. And I thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Well, on that note, any more announcements? Or any that can beat that one? I'd like to thank Concord University again for their hospitality and their participation in this Third District Accelerator. We're just starting out. We've got a lot of things to do, and if you have any questions, you can contact Ann at Tech Connect. She can get you in the network, and we can take it from there. And I want to thank you for coming today.
Thank you.